That's clutch.
You know, and Ole Miss is 4-2 coming into today. Madison Scott, who was Ole Miss's leading scorer a season ago, she's averaging less than 10 points per game. I mean, she's not even a top 3 scorer so far up to this point for Ole Miss this season. You mentioned taking that pressure off. That's probably huge for her.
Absolutely. I mean, she doesn't have to do it. It doesn't mean that she can. It means that she doesn't have to.
And Scott gets the slip from KK Deans. And Scott has 9 points, her per game average today. But leading the way for Ole Miss today, Sierra Cheney with 16. Christine Iwala tied career high 12 points. Star Jacobs, 12 points. Kennedy Todd Williams continuing to stay hot. She has 11 points. Also 5 assists for Todd Williams. And an offensive foul called, and what do you know? Sierra Cheney drew the foul for Ole Miss.
You see her getting some love from her teammates, much deserved love. Madison Scott, who Coach S says defines the culture of this team. She's hyping her up.
Nobody told us what the amount of mentions for Chinu was coming into today, but KK Deans just zigged and zagged all the way to the basket. That was beautiful.
She's another player that is so much fun to watch, and coming off of that ACL tear, you can't help but want to see her do good. Let's take another look at this. Oh, that's Crafty, and it doesn't look like she tore that ACL. She's definitely not playing with any type of mental block.
That was some shake and bake, wasn't it?
It was.
Talked about cooking earlier, and KK is still cooking after
KK's
Thanksgiving.
Cooking.
Dad jokes on par today. 79-22. All Ole Miss today. Those were KK Dean's first 2 points. She came into today leading Ole Miss with nearly 14 a game. Is this another turnover by Alabama State? It is. Boy, for a second, I thought Ole Miss maybe got a hand on that ball last. And you see Chinu, she's been everywhere.
She sold it.
They're going to have to go for the game. And Ole Miss has had the lead from the jump. Deans, step back. Jacobs had the rebound and she was hacked underneath the rim. And Amari Franklin commits foul number 3. And that's what Star Jacobs does. I think the underrated part of her game and where she's going to help out Ole Miss a lot, especially when the competition gets taller and more athletic. Those offensive rebounds will be huge.
And she sees the shot go up. Actually, even before the shot went up, she saw KK Deans doing the step back. She's under the goal. She's working already.
Star Jacobs has 8 rebounds today. 5 of them are offensive rebounds. And jump ball goes Alabama State's way. 5 offensive rebounds, 5 of her 8.
I hope people can give her the respect that she deserves and understand how difficult that is to be able to maneuver your way around the defense. I mean, it is just heart and hustle.
Jacobs now has 29 offensive rebounds this season and just 16 defensive rebounds. How about that ORB to DRB ratio? Time left in the possession for the Hornets. Also the 3rd game this season for Ole Miss with 25 turnovers forced, 25 or more. Alabama State has 25 today.
This Alabama State is probably not going to face another defense close to the one that Ole Miss has given them. This is great preparation because this is about as good as it's going to get.
Of course, one of the few SEC teams that Alabama State will see this season. They've already seen Mississippi State and Alabama. They got Oklahoma coming up, Florida as well. Caitlin Bryant called for her 2nd personal foul. And Ole Miss set to inbounds with Tamia Sadler, Colorado transfer. Kicks to Noel. And Tucker calls grabs the rebound. That's a jump ball. Possession arrow goes Ole Miss's way. Frida Freeman Jackson wanted a timeout, and I thought when the whistle came in that they were going to grant her the timeout.
think she was trying to get possession. I saw the ref look over here and ask if she wanted it, and just kind of ignored him.
Noel lobs into Chinu. Sadler turned away, and Richardson traveled. 11th turnover for Ole Miss. This will be a great timeout. Finally, head coach Frida Freeman-Jackson gets that timeout, and we step aside too. 79-22, all Ole Miss today. Christina Walla's performance has been overshadowed by a couple of her teammates. She's tied a career-high 12 points today, Lindsay. She's 5 for 5 from the floor.
I know, we can't forget to give her the respect that she deserves because she is having a phenomenal game. And I love her style of play, too. Look at that defense with the blocks. Just good, hard, physical basketball. She is a beast.
Yeah, she scored just 8 points in the Bahamas, and all 8 of those points in that rout over Boston College. Played 10 minutes against the UConn. She only had 1 field goal attempt and a board in that contest too. But, you know, Christina Walla comes from a family but had to really start from the ground up. Her dad sailed over to the States from Nigeria. She really credits her parents with her work ethic because that start from the bottom, now you're here mentality, man, it doesn't get any better from when your parents literally sailed across the seas to get to the States and create a new life for their family.
And for just the joy that she radiates, too. If you know her background and where she comes from, you can't help but love her.
Can't help but love this. Sierra Chinu in on the steal. Got that to Ayanna Thompson somehow, some way. And Sierra Chinu's adding more to her freshman resume. Maybe another SEC Freshman of the Week honor in her future.
It will certainly be well-deserved.
Ball off of Ole Miss and stays with the Hornets. Lob inbounds goes to Kristen Jackson from Enterprise, Alabama. Third-year returner for Frida Freeman-Jackson. And that ball goes into the front row seats. I believe that hit a young fan. Bopped her right in the nose. A couple players going over to check on her, make sure she's okay. She took it like a champ.
Didn't even flinch.
No, not at all. She's got the headwear on and everything.
Almost said, get that girl a jersey, but it looks like she's already wearing one.
How much eligibility does she have left? Parents are just laughing it off. There's a heave at the shot clock buzzer and an air ball for Smith. ASU now 1 for 12 from the perimeter today. They only hit around 4 threes per game. But Ole Miss has such a good perimeter defense, limiting opponents to a 23% three-point percentage per game. That's only going to go down today. Richardson draws contact, and free throws are on the way for her. Caitlin Bryant's third foul today. So you have NC State coming up now, Lindsay. Final Four team from a year ago. You could tell that UConn game and the way it ended really left a sour taste in Ole Miss's mouth. And with the 81-22 advantage today, obviously NC State will be a tougher opponent for this team, but a lot of good things, good film for Coach Yo to break down going into that NC State game today.
Yeah, that's going to be...
Or in the future, sorry.
Is a great test, and I'm excited to see what they do and to be an away game as well.
I love that the conferences are getting together. The SEC, ACC challenge. You know, the Big Ten also has a challenge too at the ACC. Force these guys to play each other, right? See who's the better conference.
Well, it really is. It's nice to see how you line up against other conferences too before you get into your own conference play.
6 left to shoot. Smith triggers, and another air ball for Smith. And she'll hear it from the band and those in attendance today. Ole Miss did have a 61-point win early this year against UAPB, and it's 82-22 right now. Iwala. It's her first missed field goal today. Mid-range J falls in. And Jackson takes the ball away from Ole Miss. Tucker bounces to Harris. It is shocking to me that Cordesia Harris, averaging 10 points per game, over 9 rebounds a game. Lindsay's been as quiet as she has been. Just 2 points today, 4 rebounds.
Yeah, and I would like to say that that was Ole Miss's defense in the scout, but she hasn't really gotten a ton of touches, hasn't gotten a ton of looks.
Yeah, Harris, 3 times this year she's been in double figures, and also double figure points and double figure rebounds. And Fatimata Jalo comes in, 5'10" freshman from Portugal. Comes in for Chinu, who will take a seat with a tied career high 16 points today, 6 rebounds, 2, 5 assists. Those 5 assists, a career best for Chinu. Noel on the run, zips it to Collins, and Rima Collins with her 3rd made field goal of the year. .445 to go for the game. And Noel in on that pass, ball squirts free, and Jalo falls on it, whistle comes in, and the foul is on the freshman for Ole Miss. And we step aside in this 84-24 Ole Miss lead on Alabama State. Well, we mentioned Ole Miss's bouts with NC State in the SEC-ACC Challenge. NC State fell to eventual national champion South Carolina in the Final Four last year. Magical run. The glass slipper did fit until they ran into Dawn Staley's crew. The Tennessee State Ole Miss will return at home against Tennessee State out of the OVC. South Alabama comes to Oxford from the Sun Belt Conference, and more teams from the SWAC coming in late December. Mississippi Valley State just before Santa Claus comes to town, and then Alcorn State before the new year hits in Oxford. Challenging schedule to say the least. You open up with USC, top 3 team in the country. I don't think a lot of teams would want to open up against USC, but Coach O felt like she had a roster that could compete against Juju Watkins and the Trojans to begin the season, and they did.
I mean, why sit back and wait to see what you're made of?
And of course against Paige Beckers too in UConn, and Gino Ariema, one of the best, if not the best, women's college basketball coach. Only trailed the Huskies by 4 in the 3rd quarter after a very, very slow start in that contest too. Whistle comes in on Ole Miss's Rima Collins. Collins picks up her first, and Alabama State gets back the basketball. But if you're wondering, NC State, they did have a rematch this season with South Carolina. They lost 71-57. And in the Bahamas, actually in the Baha Mar, NC State lost to LSU 82-65. So NC State's not off to a good start against the SEC this season. Of course, those are probably the 2 best teams in the SEC this year. Ayanna Thompson comes away with the basketball for Ole Miss. Quick sneak to Collins, misses, gets it back. Ball tapped out of bounds, it stays with Ole Miss. Guess if you want to get a quick introduction to the SEC, go play South Carolina and LSU.
Yeah, that's not who I would want to start out with.
30 turnovers forced today, too, by the Rebels. Can you fathom that?
No, that is some high-pressure defense.
A team that literally wears the word defense on T-shirts. As Kahara drops it to the bottom for Ole Miss, and whistle intervenes. Amari Franklin quickly subs off for Alabama State, and the Hornets need a sub. Looks like it's Taylor Smith off the bench. And Franklin will get some attention from the trainer. So Smith comes in. Just 2 fourth-quarter points scored for ASU. They scored 10 combined points in the first half. Then in the third quarter, outscored themselves with 12 points. And the officials intervened, foul on the ground. And Eloisa Cajera called for the foul. Her first personal. Tucker gets the inbounds pass. Tucker has 6 points today. Shot clock down to 10 for Smith. Lob to Harris. Oh, rejected by Noel. They heard that one up in the rafters. Thunderous block, too.
You have to take another look at this. Noel with the ups. Look at that. That was vengeful.
She wanted a little more stuffing for Thanksgiving.
With the dad jokes.
Okay, okay. Cajera misses the hook. 2.5 left in the game, Lindsay. Had to get one more zinger in for you. I know your husband's proud.
He
Shout out
is
to
so
Shane.
proud.
And Rima Collins. And on the stuff, too. Denied Tucker. (86-24). Ole Miss is led from the jump. Rebels wanted a bounce-back win after a tough loss to UConn. Say they did a lot of nice things today. We'll see what Coach Yo's feelings are after the game. And Ashton Southern will catch up with Sierra Chinu, who tied her career-high 16 points today and set a new career high with 5 assists. Rima Collins takes away the basketball. Almost gave it away. She does. Bryant misses. Collins reels it in. Ball squirts free again. The most pace we've had to this game since the opening tip.
There's a lot going on in that possession.
Jite Bemortor from Nigeria, 6'2" freshman, comes in for the first time today for Ole Miss. She's hopping up and down, trying to deflect the inbounds pass, and Ole Miss got a paw on that. Cajera knocked it out of play. There's Bemortor. She played 1 minute against Boston College in the Bahamas. She's still looking for her first points of her collegiate career entering today. She's got 1:55 to do so. Pass falls to Collins. Just over 90 seconds left to go in the game. And Noel thought about it. Now drives into traffic, loses it. Pooler comes away with it. Ole Miss somehow gets it back. It's Noel. Rolls it home for Ole Miss.
Where did she come from? I think she caught Alabama State sleeping.
88-24. Ole Miss on a 6-0 run over the last 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And 60 seconds left in this game as Pooler fronts the three, and Rima Collins picks up her 4th rebound today. Averaging just under 2 boards a contest coming into today in the 6 games she's played. Ole Miss has a date with NC State coming up. Collins to Noel. 3 left to shoot. Noel has to hurry. Off balance 3. Collins fights for the rebound, and free throws are on the way. Tucker's 2nd foul today. Ole Miss will improve to 5-2. ASU came into today with a 4-game losing streak, and all 4 of those losses to Power 4 schools. Future's bright for Rima Collins, you think, Lindsay?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an athlete.
From the Bahamas, 6'2", sophomore. Cajera corrals the miss. Then Mortor can't knock it down. Still looking for those first collegiate points. And the pride of the South is singing Alabama State.
Salt in the wound.
A goodbye song here in the pavilion.
See the keys jingling.
Oh, not the keys.
The keys.
Oh, not the keys.
Wrong.
8 seconds to go, and Smith deflected by Cajera, and Ole Miss will drown out this clock. That's all she wrote. 89-24. Ole Miss with a 65-point win against Alabama State. More than their 61-point win that they had against Arkansas Pine Bluff earlier this season. And it's the largest margin of victory, too, for the Rebels in program history. Defense led to offense today, Lindsay. That's the main thing and main takeaway for the Rebels today.
Absolutely. I mean, great bounce back, great learning experience. I know Coach Yo will have some takeaways from this one as well, but beautiful Ole Miss basketball.
Long hug, too, for Coach Yo. Visiting this coaching staff, she had a lot of great words to say about Frida Freeman Jackson and this coaching staff, the job they have done. While Ashton Southern waits to chat to Sierra Chinu. Chinu today with 16 points, tied career high. She had 6 rebounds and a career best 5 assists, too. Ole Miss as a team forced 33 turnovers. Can you put that in perspective? What does 33 turnovers mean? Unbelievable.
That means some high pressure defense, knowing your game, knowing your role. Every single possession, no possessions off.
And scoring 42 points off those turnovers, too. Chino's making the walk over to Ashton Southern. And Ashton, take it away.
Well, Sarah, incredible game today. Tied your career best with 16 points, hit a career best with 5 assists. What was your focus in today's game?
My focus was just to show my teammate that I can help them anytime. Yeah, that's all.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you so much.
A lot of production on the court. A woman of few words today, too. We'll say that. Sierra Chinu is your player of the game here in Oxford. David Dillard directed it. Jim Holder, fashion consultant. He produced it. For Ashton Southern and Lindsey King, I'm Jay Kermata saying so long from Oxford. Final score, 89-24. Ole Miss dominates today. And this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. We'll talk to you down the line. Hopefully you had a happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you from Oxford next time. Have a great weekend.